Hey YouTube. This video is long overdue. Okay. So, I used to look at Chrisean in a whole different way. I used to look at not innocent, but she seemed to me that okay, she has a kind heart. Even though she has been in a toxic relationship, she's been through a lot. She means well, she's trying her best, all this other stuff, right? Um, And I'm not saying that she doesn't like love her son, but I feel like if she really loves her son, like she says she loves her son, then she would stop being in denial about his situation. And she said that, oh, he's going to outgrow his situation and eventually he will talk, eventually he will walk. She's oblivious to his situation and his physical demeanor and, um, the his limitations and things like that. And she's not taking accountability for the actions she has done to her son while she was pregnant with him. So once she gets past that stage and take accountability for her actions, like, you know what, I was young, I was making dumb mistakes, I was hurting at the time. I was going through a lot mentally. I wasn't in the right state of mind. Something, you know what I'm saying? Um, to own up, you know what I'm saying? Because, we all make mistakes. And I'm pretty sure the hospital took some blood and whatever. I don't know why, if knowing that she did drink alcohol and all this other stuff, that they will still give her back her son. Maybe. Um Maybe she didn't do that and he just ended up to come out that way. I don't know, but we have seen proof and evidence of her doing that. So she could fake the funk and say that, oh, I was just drinking juice, oh, this and that, blah 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 blah. It's whatever. We ain't stupid, okay? She can't fool us. We ain't Boo Boo the Fool, okay? We seen it with our own eyes, okay? Not in person, probably, but people have witnessed her doing some things in person. So I feel like, as a mother, if you see your son and his feet are deformed and it's hard for him to stand flat on his feet, then she should have addressed that. You know what I'm saying? Praying his situation away is not going to handle it. Faith without work is dead. She's not putting the effort in to make changes to better her son. If she feels like he's going to grow up to do this and grow up to be that and all that stuff that she has faith in, then she needs to put the effort in to help him get there. And I feel like she's slacking a lot, and people are just either there's a lot of people that's noticing how she's treating her son and noticing how her son's developing and stuff like that and is pissed off about it, but there's a lot of people that just dismiss it and enable her and um act like nothing's wrong. They just take what she says into initiative and goes with what she says and says, "Oh, everything's fine. He doesn't have a diagnosis. He doesn't have any illnesses." Okay, but your son should be talking at this age. He's about to be 3. He should be walking at this age. He about to be 3. Okay? There's a lot of things and you can tell that he's having a hard time focus. He shouldn't be drinking um a bottle my 2-year-old, he drinks a bottle at night, but he shouldn't be drinking a bottle all the time just to feed him. Like he's still eating baby food. He's having a hard time eating solids. He's not even saying mama. Like that will be a concern for me as a mother. Like if my son wasn't saying mama and my son still wasn't walking at the age of 2 or whatever the case may be, I will feel some type of way and I will address the situation. There are signs early on that she dismissed about her son not holding his head up at a certain age as a baby and things like that. He wasn't even cooing, I don't believe. He was just, making noise when he cried. And she was so focused. She's so focused on a man that doesn't care about her. And I'm pretty sure they didn't get a DNA test. She's just assuming that's his baby. And if I was her, I would try to like talk to him Blue in person and try to get a DNA test done and just get it off the way. You know what I'm saying? And she don't want to admit that she did anything wrong. She wants to portray herself to be this perfect person. No, don't do me wrong. She did admit that she has made mistakes and she's working on herself and stuff like that. But she's trying to portray herself as if she did nothing wrong. And that's irks me because it's not fair to her son that she's not owning up to what the root of the problem is. If she owns up to what the root of the problem is, then she could have progressed significantly much more if she really loved her son. When my oldest son was 1 year old and he wasn't saying that many words, I called up 211 and put him in birth to 3. And then now he don't stop talking. Okay? So it's like you gotta like really go with your intuition and your gut. And every mother has that. Every mother has that. She needs help. Chrisean needs support. Well, she said she has support, but I feel like she doesn't really have support because, of course, the people that is helping her watch her son when she does certain things or whatever, they're not gonna really speak up for Junior like that and tell her what it is and or call CPS because they don't want no drama. They don't want no drama. I don't know how much she's paying them. I don't know. But at the same time, they're gonna just like brush it off like she's brushing it off and just deal with it. Some people did call CPS on her and nothing happened. It's not right. I think people need to continue to call CPS on her until she gets her son taken away. And she could do visitations and get her life in order. And when she's ready, she can get him back. But at the same time, I feel like she really needs support as like someone teaching her how to become a better parent. I took multiple parenting classes. I'm actually about to take parenting classes again. Okay? Because I want to continue to better myself as a mother, as a person, as an individual. And there might be some things that I don't know of. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I got my son taken away, but I'm working on getting him back. The only thing I need to do is get an apartment to get him back, and I'm working on that right now. I might get an apartment any day now. I'm just waiting for the landlord to call me back. So, yeah. So, she's not taking the steps that's necessary. I've been in therapy since um since my son was around 6 months old. I've been in therapy, okay? He is 2.5. He'll be 3 in January next year. So I've been in therapy. I've been taking medication to help me with my mental health. I've been doing visitations with my son since he was born. Okay, not since he was born because I lost custody of him when he was 3 months old. And what happened was so I was experiencing postpartum really bad. I was afraid to tell the doctors and tell someone because I didn't want them to think I was going to kill my baby. So after he was born, I was experiencing postpartum. Then one of my neighbors threatened to kill my son, and I got mad, freaked out, blacked out, and punched her in her face. I got arrested, went to jail for 3.5 months. The prosecutor and everyone said that they could tell that I was going through postpartum, and they let me go home early. They said I could have done a 1.5 years all this stuff. Like, it could have been bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could have been worse than what it was. But God was on my side. I prayed the whole time I was in there, stuff like that. And I put in the work, you know what I'm saying? I did groups in jail. I did all types of activities in jail. I made, they make sure you take your medication, but I owned up to it. I found the right medication that worked for me. I advocated for myself because back in the day, when I was taking medication, I couldn't find the right one that was working for me. So I stopped taking them. I didn't like them, but now I realized that I need them because I don't want to make the same mistakes as a mother. I don't want to jeopardize like losing custody of him again if I do end up getting him back. So when DCF was involved, I didn't like get mad at them or anything because at the end of the day it was my fault. You know what I'm saying? They didn't charge me. DCF didn't charge me with neglect. They said they could tell that I took very good care of him. So there was no issue there. I didn't get charged with neglect or abuse or anything like that. Thank God. Okay. So they try to help me with they put me in parenting classes, and they put me in the parenting classes. I was able to see my son and interact with him and stuff like that, and I would take the guy's advice on certain things and stuff like that. And then I would do visits, and I didn't miss not one visit. And the only thing I have to do is get an apartment. So I've been looking at apartments. I've been reaching out to landlords, private landlords, because of the fact that I got evicted out of the place that I was renting from because of the fact that she was my neighbor. So I can't rent from their properties anymore. They have a lot of property for low income housing and stuff like that. So I can't rent from them anymore. So I had to find a private landlord that accepted the fact that I had an eviction and accepted the fact that I got out of jail and all these barriers that were in my way and that my credit score is not the best. So I think I have found one. And the thing is, the point of all this is that no matter what circumstances that came my way, I'm not going to give up on my son. I'm not going to give up on me. I want to be a mother. I want to be there for my son. I want to, and the good thing about it is that when I got out of jail, I got a job at Home Depot. They almost denied me, but they gave me a chance to appeal the background check. And then I submitted documentations of me completing programs like IOP, PHP, individual therapy, group therapy, med management, all that stuff. I put myself out there. And I vouched for myself. I advocated for myself to show them that I was working really hard on my mental health to not make the same mistakes again. Okay. So they gave me the job, and I've been there for a year and a half now. So if it wasn't for my medication, I wouldn't be able to hold on that job. If it wasn't for that medication, I wouldn't be able to be calm and not get mad at DCF for something that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was going through postpartum, it was still my fault. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, that she needs more support, and she needs people to be honest with her and keep it real and reach out and do something, because it's devastating to see her son continue to digress and go through what he's going through. It's devastating. I feel like she gives up when she's trying to feed him. All this type of stuff. Like, she doesn't continue to try and try and try. He should be on a feeding tube. If he's not able to like take the food and consume it as much as he should be on a feeding tube and get the nutrients and vitamins that he deserves. There's a lot of people that I follow on YouTube that is pointing out things that I didn't even realize that Chrisean was doing. I looked at her different. You know what I'm saying? Now I look at her completely different in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? I believe that she means well. I just feel like she doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? She came from a rough upbringing. So she just, she just really needs to get it together. But the only way that can happen is if everyone petitions to Get her son out of that situation. Give her a wake up call, a reality check. Wake that chick up. Because what she's doing to her son is not right. She's focusing on Blue. She's focusing on other men. She's doing all this stuff that is not important. If this man's not claiming your son, if this man is not respecting you and respecting your son, and he's just using you for clicks and views and all that stuff, then that should show you right there that you don't value yourself. You don't love yourself. You don't have no respect for yourself, and you don't have no respect for your son. Because if you really did, you will put all that aside and cut that man off and focus on your son. I had to do the same thing. I was involved with toxic men that disrespected me. I had to cut off my second son's father, who's my 2-year-old's father. I had to cut off a lot of people that I was dealing with because they were toxic and they were trying to take advantage of me, use me financially, and disrespected me verbally. Okay, so I didn't want to continue to deal with people that was this great um putting me down and all types of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need to focus on God, and I need to focus on my son and put myself first and learn to love myself. So I'm working on trying to lose weight. I'm working on, my, all the stuff. I already worked on my mental health. I need to work on my physical and work on trying to get my son back. I keep it real on this channel. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I've been talking about my situation with my son for a minute now. So right now I have support with my sister and my mom. He's not in foster care. My sister's taking care of him. Thank God. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. If you guys have a problem with what I have to say, then you guys are blindsided and in denial and don't see the real problem. If you really pay attention and do your research on a baby's development, then you understand that he is nonverbal right now. Not saying that he can't be capable of learning to talk. I don't know. I don't know what God can do. I don't know whatever. But at the same time, waiting for something to happen, that's not right. She should put the action to the present of his development, not just sit there and wait for something to happen. That doesn't make no sense. You're not being a good mother. And if you guys have a problem with me saying that, then you're the problem.